check your insurance policy for starters.
Mm,
There's a lot of new stuff coming out in insurance policies right now that are just changing the game. And a lot of, for example, policies will convert at a certain age. If the roof hits 7 to 10 years old, that policy will convert from a full replacement policy to a cash value policy that depreciates the payout. There's other policies that have what they call a RPS. It's called a roof payment schedule, to where they apply an amortization schedule to the whatever that they would pay to a roof.
Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm Cody Crabb with Investor Fuel, and today I'm joined by Kerry White. He's the owner of Americana Roofing out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Kerry works with homeowners and investors on roofing, insurance claims, exterior stuff, and we're going to talk today about how roofing decisions can really have a big impact on your deals. So thanks so much for joining us today, Kerry.
Hey, thanks for having me, Cody.
So, in a home, or you said we were talking. Well, let me say that again. We were talking a little bit before, and you mentioned that a lot of the work you do is on single family homes. Now, a lot of times in a home, there's only a handful of things that maybe cost more than an entire roof. Is that right?
Yeah, there's not much that's going to cost you more than an entire roof. If you're doing an addition, if you've got some foundation issues or things like that. But yeah, when it comes to home repair, we're about as expensive as it gets.
Yeah. So I just want to highlight. I wanted to just kind of bring that up to highlight, like, this is a really important thing to to take note of here. So all right. So if an investor is starting off looking for a property, you deal with commercial stuff, you deal with residential stuff. What are some key things they should be looking for right away when they're looking at a property for the first time?
You know, Looking at a property for investment is can be really tricky when it comes to the roof. There's so many things. For example, if you walk into a house and the cabinets are broke or the paint is peeling, that sort of thing. Okay, I need cabinets, I need paint. But if you aren't necessarily skilled in looking at roof damage, you may stand back in the driveway and look up and you go, roof looks fine to me.
Yeah.
And even for me as a professional, I look at this every single day. We'll walk up on the job and go, well, it looks kind of okay. And we get up on the roof and we go, oh my gosh, this is a mess. And so things like hail damage just can't be seen from the ground a lot of times. Wind damage,
Mm.
the shingles may be laying there flat, but they've been completely pulled loose. You just can't tell it from the ground a lot of times.
Oh.
Sometimes you just can't tell the condition of the shingles. Are they 20 years old and about to fall off, or was the roof put on 3 years ago? And so from the ground, you just don't know a lot of times. And so anytime some of the investors that we work for, we try our best to get out there as fast as we can. Sometimes we're able to even get out same day, and we'll hop up on that roof. We'll take a quick look at it and go, "Hey, yes, sir, Mr. Investor, Mrs. Investor, you need to plan for this. You're not talking a full re-roof, but you do need to plan for, a couple of $1,000s in repairs, or, heaven forbid, no, this is bad. You're going to need to spend $20,000 here." And so the last
Yeah.
thing you want to do is buy a flip property and then figure out, oh, I've just lost 20 grand on this.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, and see that's the thing is that and it's also one of those repairs that, I mean, it's a big deal because it can affect everything else. Like a roof emergency is like an emergency, and then, like,
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
know what I mean? So it's a big deal to make sure you get that right.
It really is, and it's also important that you know the quality of not just the roofer, but every contractor on your rehab team. You need to know what their true abilities are. We did a repair just yesterday. Um, it ended up being about a $4,000 or $5,000 repair for the homeowner, and she just had a roofer inspect her roof last year, and he charged her $800 for the inspection, and suddenly we get a rain last weekend, and her master closet ceiling fell out,
Oh
and
my gosh.
so and she's going, "I don't understand. I just had these guys out here last year." I was like, "Well, I don't really want to say too much about them, but here's what we found." And the more we dug into it, the worse it got. And this was a nice home that, in theory had upkeep done on it periodically.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good call out that, like, you can do everything right, but man, if that goes wrong, there's not a whole lot you can do except just cross your
Exactly.
fingers that
Yeah.
it's not going to be too pricey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so another question I had was, so what's something that looks small that is a huge red flag, can turn into a big problem down the line? So, like, people see it and they're maybe like, it's probably okay, but it could be way worse.
One of the things that really, we run into a lot of different problems. We'll see pipe boots that are leaking, or we'll see some flashing that is deteriorated. And really, that's two of the big ones right there. That if you don't take care of them, they're gonna they're gonna come back to bite you in the long run. A pipe
Mm.
boot is literally you can buy a new pipe boot at Home Depot for $14, and and it's you can replace that yourself if you're skilled in it and not afraid to get up on the roof. If you don't take care of that, you're going to have a $1,000 repair easily, because now you're getting the pipe boot is broken or worn out. You're getting water into the attic. It may not even show up into the interior until it's already caused mold and wood rot and things like that, where you can't even see it. So it's a big mess.
Yeah, that's a really good call out. Yeah, something that you can do yourself for like under $20. It's probably
Right,
worth just
right.
taking
Yeah.
a look. Yeah. So I want to talk about insurance, because a lot of roofing is tied up in insurance. So uh, in your market, and well, just in general, I suppose, why is roofing so tied to insurance? There's like this really close relationship there.
So obviously, any property that you own, you want to have it insured, properly insured. And, I'll give you an example. Here in DFW, our insurance rates have gotten really sky high because we have a lot of storms here. And frankly, the insurance companies are tired of losing money in Texas. And so, our rates have gone up. But on the flip side, if you didn't have that insurance and suddenly we get a big hailstorm, you're about to spend, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 or more to replace that roof, when otherwise, if you'd had a good insurance policy in place, your only cost now is your deductible. And, you may have depends on the state, insurance deductibles vary across the country, but you may have a $1,500, $2,000 deductible. You may have a $5,000 deductible. And that's a whole lot better when it comes to replacing a roof than having to pony up 15, 20, 25,000 or
Yeah, and
more.
especially from an investment perspective. I mean,
Oh,
the
absolutely.
if you're living in a house, you can kind of justify like, well, it's my property and I live here, and it's but if if this is money you're throwing away
Yep.
unless you're properly insured. So I think that's
Right.
a really
Right.
good call out too.
Exactly.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So when would it make sense to deal with a claim uh yourself, like without dealing with insurance?
So if you didn't want to get your insurance involved, it a lot of times it just comes down to there's several things to weigh into that. So, when we come out to a homeowner's property and look at damage that they may have, the first thing they say, well, is insurance going to pay for this? I ran an appointment yesterday. They had some wind damage. They lost about 4 shingles. Well, she said, well, will insurance pay for this? I said, yeah, they will, but it's not even going to meet your deductible. And this was a pretty nice property. I didn't even ask what her deductible is, but the I would expect is probably $5,000. The repair is going to be less than 1,000, and
Hmm.
something like that. It just doesn't make sense. Sometimes if it's like right on the border, like okay, you got 5,000 in repairs here, you've got a $5,000 claim potentially. Does it make sense to let's go ahead and get the insurance out here to look at it? At that point, sometimes I'm gonna lean towards, yeah, let's go ahead and get the insurance because what if they see something that we're not seeing and they say, okay, let's go ahead and replace the roof. Well, you get a full roof for your $5,000 deductible, or you just make your original repair for 5,000. You're going to spend the same amount of money.
Good
And,
point. Yeah, if you're
and
nearing your deductible, definitely I could
exactly.
see
And
that.
and if this is a storm damage claim, that's different than, a theft claim or a fire claim, something like that. It's considered an act of God. You're not supposed to get your rates increased from filing a claim from an act of God. Um,
Hmm.
and so it's not going to be a strike against you on your insurance rates, typically. Some people may have like a no claims discount, but if you go ahead and get a new roof replaced, you're probably going to get a new roof discount now, which is going to be a lot more than that no claims discount that you were trying to protect in the first place.
Hmm. So, because you said you work with investors sometimes,
Yes.
eh, and what separates the ones that are really on top of things from the ones that maybe struggle a little bit? Like, have you noticed a difference in what they do or what their approach is?
I have a couple of different investors that we do a lot of repeat work for, and I think the thing that probably relates the two of them together, or the several of those guys together, is they trust us. They know we're going to take good care of them. We're not going to try to scam them. Unfortunately, the roofing industry has so many bad actors in it, and so in my mind, I feel like those guys have developed a good bit of trust in us, and
Mm,
so they know when we come out and say this is what needs to happen, then that's a real world answer for them, and they can take that to the bank and go, okay, here's my estimate from my contractor. Here's my here's our performa and other information that they can take to their bank or take to their partners, their co-investors, that sort of thing, and
mm,
they know they can trust that information. And when you've got a partner that you can trust, whether it's your roofer, your foundation guy, your handyman, it speeds things up, and we all know in the investment world, especially if you're buying, if you're looking to say subprime properties, speed is key to the whole thing. If you can get in and make your offer today and close next week, that's gonna beat a lot of your competition right there. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say to a lot of these folks is, hey, make sure you've got the guys that are responsive and that you can trust them and know that they're going to have your best interest in heart.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, we've talked to contractors a few times, and that's a very common answer that we get is the trust factor. You also
Mm,
get like the, hey, don't worry about it. We'll call it even this time. We'll do one next time. Like you get that kind of relationship. That's a really good
sure.
position
Yeah.
to be in for both of you, I
Yeah.
think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so we're kind of winding down here to the last few minutes, but just as a last couple things to go over, a lot of people are concerned that they're just going to miss something, that they're
Right.
gonna, especially on a roof. Like I said, it's one of the biggest things you can buy or fix or upgrade in a house.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess my biggest thing is what advice would you have just as a little snippet for someone that is trying to they're worried about it, like that keeps them up at night. They're like, how do I
Mhm.
know that everything's okay? What can they check right now to be like, I things are mostly fine?
Check your insurance policy for starters.
Mm,
There's a lot of new stuff coming out in insurance policies right now that are just changing the game, and a lot of, for example, policies will convert at a certain age. If the roof hits 7 to 10 years old, that policy will convert from a full replacement policy to a cash value policy that depreciates the payout. There's other policies that have what they call a RPS. It's called a roof payment schedule, to where they apply an amortization schedule to the whatever that they would pay to a roof. And there's other policies that were starting to exclude cosmetic damages. These are things that didn't exist. A lot of these didn't exist in policies even 5 years ago. So
hmm,
read through your policy, read through your declarations, make sure you understand it. Um, get your agent on the phone and go, hey, tell me what this means in real world. And then and then specific to the roof, uh, shoot it over to your contractor, to your roofing contractor. If he's skilled in doing insurance work like we are, shoot it over to him and go, "Hey, what does this mean in dollars and cents to me? What's going to happen if we have a problem here?" And things like that can save you big. We had a customer last summer that had a policy that he didn't understand, and when a hailstorm came, he thought he was covered, and it ended up costing him an extra 20,000 out of his pocket because he had a policy that didn't give him the
oh,
coverage that he thought he had. So that's
gotcha.
that's that's hard to stomach when that comes along.
Yeah. So so even just a quick review could save you so
Yeah,
much
yeah,
trouble down the line. Yeah.
exactly. And you paid for that insurance for the peace of mind. So yeah, don't let it keep you up at night. Make sure you understand it.
Yeah. That's a really good tip. Yeah, it seems simple, but like how many people can really define every little thing that's in the policy? Like
Exactly.
that's a
Yes.
really good point. So investors listening to this, who's the ideal person that is the best fit to work with Americana Roofing? I mean, obviously somewhat in the DFW area, but on top of that.
Sure, sure. So we do, I mentioned we do a lot of work for investors. Some of our investors are geared more towards flips, and when we come in to work with those guys, it's usually, hey, let's make some quick repairs. put a bow on it and let's get in and out. For the guys that are holding properties, maybe have a portfolio, uh, we work great with them. We even have a program, we call it our overhead care club, to where we'll come out. I think it's a minimal monthly fee, and we come out and do an annual checkup. We'll do gutter cleaning. We'll do, um, scheduled maintenance like that. And things like that work out great for the portfolio holders as well. And so it gives them not just a one-off time of getting their roof checked, but now they've got a plan in place to make sure that it's going to be in good condition for the long run.
Hmm. Kerry, this has been really practical. I think investors understanding that roofing is one of those things that can just look fine at first and just still cost you a lot of money if you miss it is a huge deal.
Absolutely.
And so I think teaching them to treat it seriously, I think is a huge deal. And I really appreciate your input here. If people want to get in touch or learn more about Americana Roofing, where can they find you online?
So our web address is americanaroofing.net. And if you search Americana Roofing on Facebook, that should pop you up to us as well.
Fantastic. Okay, well, yeah, if you're the kind of person that's an over worrier, I would probably put myself in that category. This is probably a good get out that insurance policy, do some of these things that Kerry suggested here. I think you'll sleep a little better at night. Thanks again for joining us, Kerry. I think this is helpful. And thank you to all you listeners that checked out this episode today. If you got anything out of this, and I'm sure you did, please go ahead and follow us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time on the Real Estate Pros Podcast.